And one moment. This is an extreme honor again, brothers. It's an extreme honor. Very honored, sir. One moment. I'm waiting to get the notification. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this wonderful afternoon. I am humbled, and we are humbled as a viewing and listening audience to have Brother Sultan Muhammad with us this afternoon. First of all, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you. Excellent, sir. I'm doing great. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. We are very humbled and honored that you would take time out of your busy schedule to give us some information as well as some inspiration this afternoon. Brother Sultan, you gave me an honor of having a part one interview last year, and it helped inspire so many people on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. We were recently inspired by the Most Honorable Mr. Min Farrakhan to hear the speech, The Criterion, on the 4th of July, and I heard you bearing witness on the video. And I said, I have to ask him in this most critical hour that we are in, what should we look at? What are we seeing? And what are you seeing from a view that we are not privileged and honored to see? So the first question that we have for you is, how did the speech come about, and how did it personally impact you, sir?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you, Brother Josh, for what you have done for the nation.
Praise be to Allah, sir.
In offering us the experiences and the mind of the many, many believers and those who make contribution.
Praise be to
and
Allah.
the beauty of it is that we all have stories.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I remember one day some of the brothers and we were just talking about different things that had happened, and the minister walked in. And then he was quiet for a minute, and then he said, I've never heard your stories. And if he expressed an interest, then certainly we should have an interest in all of our stories. My favorite stories of the believers is how they came to the nation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's my favorite story. And when you hear how so many of us came, the richness of it, but you asked me a question. Thank you, Brother Joshua, and I thank you on behalf of the nation. And I'm very sure that those who listen to you and who see you and who watch you are very, very grateful to you, brother, for what you have done for us.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
But now your question again was,
how did the speech come about, and how did it personally impact you, sir?
The minister made it clear how it came out. It was the love of his brother Abdul Hafiz Muhammad.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he talked about how it took him to the depths of himself to ask the God why. Because there's always a why.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he talked about his love of Brother Hafiz. And he wanted to know from the God what was the purpose of his return at the time he returned, under the circumstances that he returned.
Yes, sir.
Now, what did that do for me? I, like thousands, even millions of us, were waiting on edge because we wanted to hear and didn't know when we would hear.
Yes, sir.
But God would show him, because we want to know, don't we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, we did. So we were all on edge minds open and wondering until July 4th, 2020.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The true Independence Day. The
Yes, sir.
Independence Day that will be remembered forever. This
Yes, sir.
Independence Day of this farce has already met its end when God declared
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
our independence on this day. That independence goes throughout the universe,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
for he is master of all the worlds. What
Oh,
a
praise.
wonderful, wonderful day. And what he gave us and gave to the world, and do not doubt that the world has it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, let me say something parenthetically.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He said he called for the increase in Florida. Is that what he said?
That's exactly what he said. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The count in the last 24 hours was 15,299 coronavirus cases in Florida, the record number for any state.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You mean they had more than New York, more than Chicago?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or would you want to think it's a coincidence?
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Maybe this whooping that we get will be a coincidence also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's what he said. And all that the God gave us and gave the world came out of his love and desire to understand our great brother and his return, Brother Abdul Hafiz Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Brother Sultan, thank you, sir, for your great testimony and transparency, sir. And thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. A lot of people are sending you the greetings and love, sir. Speaking of Minister Abdul Hafiz Muhammad, did you have any personal interactions with him? And can you please share one of the stories of your interactions with him?
My wonderful reactions with Brother Abdul Hafiz is that he would always give you that smile.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know the smile. He'd
Yes, sir.
always give that smile. And then he would always give me the greetings.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Sultan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
He was, his voice and stature. When the God uses us, he uses everything about us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We look at the Honorable Minister Min Farrakhan, a light-skinned man,
Yes, sir.
a handsome man,
Yes, sir.
a man with a certain kind of voice that appeals. Everything is appealing.
Yes, sir.
Because God is making a man for all of the world.
Yes, sir.
And then he makes us for the environment that we're in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What a God. What a loving God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To go after his people in all circumstances with something of appeal. And that's with each one of us who have talked to anyone who has been inspired to come to the resurrection and then to help in the resurrection.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And thank you all for your questions and your comments. My next question for you, sir, is we saw the title of the minister of, well, we grew up knowing as the farm. It was referred to now as the garden when the minister came out of Yosemite. Is there a reason for that? And if so, what is the reason, Brother Sultan?
If I remember correctly, of course, it's called the Garden of Gethsemane.
Yes, sir.
And I believe it was, oh man, one of the great preachers here in the city of Chicago who had actually traveled with us even to Mecca in one of the tours. And I pray that Allah will bring his name to me. But it was he when he visited the farm and when he saw the farm and he saw, I would think, I don't know, the minister's way at the farm. That he saw it as his Garden of Gethsemane.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One of the things that I noticed, one day we were standing in front of the driveway that goes around in front of the house, and the minister was looking at these roses, and so, he's looking at the roses, so I'm looking at the roses.
Yes, sir.
Roses. That's a whole bunch of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He says, oh, there's a new bud. I'm looking at all these buds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he's talking about a new, like, which one of the 100 buds that I see, how do you know it's new? He saw a new bud, and it pricked my mind to ask, what is God showing him here? The value of, and it was rightly called the garden.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But the value of that garden and how it has helped to grow God in man. But I mean, it was, that's, what I know of it. He was the first one that I heard to call it the Garden of Gethsemane.
Yes, sir.
And he was calling out of what he not only saw in scripture, but what he also at that time had seen in this man.
Praise be to Allah. And thank you all for your comments and they send a lot of love to you, Brother Sultan. A lot of people from sending you greetings from all over the country. Thank you all for watching and continue watching people's podcasts. Brother Sultan, my next question for you, sir, is I have been studying the betrayal for quite some time in the scripture. I've heard my father talk about Prophet Muhammad and saying that it was my brother who went to and fro with me into the temple and all. And I'm a history student, so I'm a student of the Judas factor and things of this nature. For you to be so close to the Most High Min Farrakhan, are you nervous about him being betrayed, or are you nervous about him being betrayed, Brother Sultan?
He's not nervous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He now knows God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Father Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is with Master Fraud Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar.
What is there for him to fear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We just got to try to get into the bosom so we won't have anything to fear with whatever we have to face.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nah, it leads to something greater.
Praise be to Allah.
I just don't want to be it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I know that everyone has to do and play their part.
Yes, sir.
And the part was measured. Islam is mathematics, mathematics is Islam.
Yes, sir.
Measurement is to bring about, how do you say, a more better people. Actually, to bring about a perfect people.
Yes, sir.
Because a man says, and it never could have been said, I don't think, until this time, be ye perfect, even as I am perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That means, brother, perfection is already present.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It came with the perfection of Master Fard Muhammad. Well, what do you think happens when he touches something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Touches someone. And I think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, well, I may not say that I'm perfect, but I'm perfect enough for you. Well, let me make it clear. You may not see him as perfect, but he is perfect enough for all of us on this planet. For as he said, there is not another man like me. No, there is not.
That's
and
right.
It would not be a just God to make another man so that there will be confusion. And my God is not the author of confusion.
Yes,
so
sir.
he's
Yes, sir.
going to put one there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go turn on your TV.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
every
sir.
day.
Yes, sir. Okay, excellent. And thank you, Sultan. You're getting so many comments and love. Sultan, my next question for you is, I spoke with you earlier about my interview that I did with the minister's son, Brother Joshua Farrakhan, and he spoke of his father being in the hospital. The minister spoke about it plenty of times, being on death's, door, being death's door and looking so ill. For someone who is a confidant, the minister's personal assistant, a companion, for you to see the minister suffer like that, what did it do to you during that time? And how has it restored your faith to see him, by the grace of God, be strong enough to still be speaking now?
I want to take a chance on saying this and being understood.
Yes, sir.
He said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he was dealing with certain things and another man would have something else that he would deal with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I believe that.
Praise be to the Lord.
And at one point, I was even questioned about being a hypocrite because I was smiling one day. And maybe I was immature in another way, also in that I never thought he was returning to Allah.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I don't know if it's something that I should have said, but I the smile when the brother saw me that day was because I believed that he was dealing with what he would have to deal with, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, because I believe that he was absolutely that man.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, with respect to the different situations in the hospital, following that long operation, we were in D.C., and the minister had been under whatever drugs that he was under, and during the operation. We were in a room next to where his room would be.
Yes, sir.
And so when they came in to roll the minister to roll into his room, they rolled past us.
Yes, sir.
And the minister was very groggy, and opened up his eyes and he looked and he saw us and he said, "Did the brothers eat?"
Mm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
That man coming out of what he was coming out of, his question when he saw us was, "Did the brothers eat?"
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's at the root of my love. And to finish that question on that one that betrays him, it already been said that he wished he was never born. I can certainly understand that.
Allahu Akbar.
But what did he say? He said, "Who called him?"
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he said, "I am my enemies travel with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I travel with him."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or have.
Yes, sir.
But my point is, and his point was, it would be really, and even if we are not close and we hang around to pull others away from him, we will not have a very good life at all.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It
sir.
would be better not to have been born.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, beautiful. And thank you, Brother Sultan, for your sacrifice. And I want to make sure I stress that I thank you on behalf of my family and the viewing audience for the sacrifice of your family as well. We love your children, your grandchildren. May Allah be pleased, Sister Wana. Congratulations on your new marriage, Brother Sultan. And I'm
Yes.
just happy to see that you're happy for all the sacrifice that you have done for us and for the nation.
All people do to Allah.
Yes, sir. My next question for you is, speaking of traveling, when you travel with the Most Honorable Sultan Farrakhan overseas and all around to all these different countries, but you see it's been said many times that he's received so much love over there, but a lot of hate in America. What has been the place where you have seen the minister receive the most love, like overseas?
Well, I have to say, and I'm sure that several of us will say that, I got to say that the best Muslims that I met was in the Caucasus Mountains on the south side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mountain in Makhachkala.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise
These are so unusual, and they are the only ones who had a flag with the crescent also in the first quarter. As you know, our crescent is in the first quarter. Most of the flags is in the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir.
Because we represent, by Allah's grace, bringing in the first quarter of a new dispensation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The dispensation.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir.
We are really blessed. And so when we were in Russia, we were probably treated by the government the worst. The minister had made such an impact when he spoke in Moscow that they wanted us out of there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so the minister was asked by one of the sheikhs from oh my God, it was just at the top of my mind. Oh my God. But the minister was going to Makhachkala, and this imam asked the minister if he would go with him to Siberia. My God, how do you forget Siberia?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And this is how we ended up starting with, I think we may have only had scheduled maybe 18 on the first tour, maybe 18 countries. And we
Yes,
ended
sir.
up doing 37 countries in 80 days. Because someone would hear the minister speak, and they may be from another country. They may be a sheikh, or they may be a mullah, they may be whatever their position may be. And many times we were just asked if we would go here or go there. So some of it we actually put trips together while we were out traveling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And of course, Russia again was where the Russian intelligence, of course, had taken me, because I had been separated because I stayed back in order to perform another assignment that I was given.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
ended up in the hands of the Russian intelligence. And the God blessed me so because I asked him, once they had me, take the fear from me and cast it into my enemies.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Never talk stupid
Yes, sir.
about I'm so bad, I don't have any fear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ask the God to take the fear.
Yes, sir.
And
Allahu
cast
Akbar.
it into your enemies. So it allowed them to see our FOI, whoever the brother was, what the brother happened to Brother Sultan, but they saw this particular action by the brother who representing Minister Farrakhan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and all of it is representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the God just made him look so good through us too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everything, he was just, so the love that these white Muslims in Mazhabskala showed the minister, the respect that they showed the minister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That they were, as when we got into certain situations, were willing to die. And I'm telling you, they were not playing, because in Russia, they've been going back and forth for generations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And, but I would have to say that those were the most impactful. I've never felt white people, whether Arabs or Muslims or whatever, before that experience. But once I was there, after I was finally brought and put with our delegation, I was coming up these steps and I felt these people behind me, everybody was clapping and all this. And I just thought it was so significant and I want to say it, but I felt these people back behind me before I even turned around. And when I looked around, there were several women at the other end of the table. But I could feel, and I've never felt, I could feel their true joy at my return and returning safely.
Praise be to Allah.
I never felt that. And so we thought that we may be in the place where Master Farrakhan's mother came from.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Brother Sultan, what was it about us aspiring believers, especially, all, genders, men and women, but especially the men, the soldiers, who drill, who hold posts? We want to be the most fearless, the most brave, believers in Allah, this messenger, the Most High Louis Farrakhan. What was it about the white Muslims that made you see the fearlessness in them? What was it about them that we may study that?
Well, when I got to, after being lied several times about I was being taken to the delegation, then after I was finally taken and found our delegation, at this particular walled home. And when I walked in it, I mean, it was just meticulous. It's like I knew I was somewhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I was introduced to the 6-year-old. And when I was being introduced to him, they introduced me to him, and I went to shake his hand, and he said, "Assalamu alaikum." I kind of jumped. This is a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Strong. You could feel him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Feel his fight. As a matter of fact, they wanted the minister to take a picture because the lieutenant governor's, I believe it was his grandfather, there's a big life-size almost picture of him in a white Angora coat with a tall hat. As a matter of fact, they gave the minister an Angora coat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On this white horse, and he had his sword pulled. They asked the minister if he would stand in front of the picture and if he would pull the sword which he had been given. As he was given many swords. And this was a strange thing. Whether it was in the backwoods of Nigeria, or whether it was in this palace or that palace, when they would hear him, both Muslims and Christians, when the minister would speak, a sword always comes up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Allahu Akbar.
Because we have heard these stories, and we have known these stories, and we have passed the prophecies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're familiar, and they heard the man 20 minutes, 30 minutes. He would speak. And here's a king passing a sword out from his kingdom to
yes,
this.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We all know the Abuna Sheikh, the father of sheikhs, and what he did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not a cloth or a staff and cape. He gave him his.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His cloak and staff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His. So these are people who have been hearing Quran and who have been hearing the stories and the histories. Some carried in the backwoods about this kind of man coming. And when they would heal the man, some would fall to kiss his feet.
Yes, sir.
And then he would say, "Get up. You don't bow to anyone but Allah."
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Allahu Akbar.
I mean, so what the God had given him. And see, sometimes there was just translation. And I remember once, I think we were in the Comoros Islands, and the minister was speaking, and we had a translator. And the translator was translating, and all of a sudden the minister turned and said, "Tell them what I said." We wondered, how do you know he didn't say what you were saying?
You
know what you said?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell them what I said.
Allahu Akbar.
He was weak, but I don't know how he knew. But he has a real God backing him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A real God.
Praise be to Allah. And thank you again, Brother Sultan. Thank you all for watching. Brother Sultan, so do you mean to say that the Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan is in fact a real Muslim, and that the Nation of Islam is in fact are in fact real Muslims, because that lie has been spread, that slander has been spread throughout the masses of people, our people especially, that we aren't real Muslims. But you're saying overseas and all around the world, the Most High Mrs. Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam are respected as real Muslims.
Let me say it like this. We're in Mecca at
Yes,
Al
sir.
Haram Mosque
Yes, sir.
on the night of Majesty. 2 million in Al Haram Mosque.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, the minister came, he decided that we were going to go, and we wanted to be there in Mecca, we're in Jeddah. So we get a decision comes to that we're going to go to from Jeddah 40 miles to Mecca, and that we wanted to be there for the prayers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everyone gets ready, we're prepared to go, and all of a sudden, here is the Jeddah police to escort us the 40 miles.
Mm.
Then when we are under the cross swords in Mecca, where you enter Mecca, the Meccan police come. Then they escort us to the mosque. Minister doesn't know anything about what's going on. We don't know where it's coming from, but it's being done for him.
Yes, sir.
Then once we get to the mosque, the army meets us there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
a couple of their squads take us now into the mosque so we can do our circumambulation. However, the FOI had to show them how to get in there on that 7th
Yes, sir.
to kiss the stone,
Yes, sir.
because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan knows the meaning of that stone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Know who and what each represents.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we had to show them how to get in there, you know. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
FOI had to help the army a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After we do the circumambulation, time comes for a prayer. Brother Ahmed is told by somebody to follow them, and then Brother Ahmed, Brother Tijani tells us that we were going to follow this man. So when we get to, this is for the Tabaid prayer, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, and brother, that imam that prayed that night,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know what he was saying, and you didn't know what he was saying, but you were sincere.
Yes, sir.
And I think it lasted about 2 hours.
Mm.
I think he recited the Surah 2, but the beauty of it. But now, here's what happens. That man who's reciting the prayer is no more than 10 feet from us. They had taken the minister and us to the point where the imam leads the prayer from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right there. Now, what the minister learned about it didn't like was that it was kind of VIP later. Well, he doesn't like that. But let's see what happens. Let's see what Allah's intent was in his going there.
Yes, sir.
After the prayer, I noticed by God's permission that people were kind of looking up there, and they look up there to see who's up there. We don't know about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so it kind of looked like, you know, people were kind of pointing and this, that, and the other. Now there is behind us a big wooden petition, painted white, made out of wood though, and it was covering something, and we didn't know what it was covering.
Yes, sir.
Well, I didn't, but I saw it. You know, I'd noticed it. I was made to notice it.
Yes, sir.
And so they're down below you, you know, because that point where the prayer is led from is a raised place, and you can actually walk up under, on the floor down, on the next level down. You can actually, what we learned was go in and come up the back. And so that petition was there to prevent people from coming into that area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we're standing there trying to decide whether or not we're going to go to, because the prayer lasted so long, it was only maybe an hour before the dawn prayer. So whether we're going to go back to the hotel or we're going to wait there. All of a sudden, you hear boom, crash, blam, break, and looked around. And they had come up in the back, tore the petition down, yelling, Farrakhan, 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 Farrakhan. You know, getting all the different dialects.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yelling Farrakhan. They tore the petition down in Al-Haram Mosque.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they know in Al-Haram that petition was torn down. So as the people burst through there and was coming like that, and you know the minister, he turns around with that smile and he waved, you know, brother, I'm the tallest. I was on his back.
Yes, sir.
I got beat up. They were trying to touch that hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it became so intense and so many, Brother Mustafa said, Dad, we got to get you out of here. This is in our Haram Mosque.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so the strangest thing happened. It was as if the brothers from maybe Nigeria, Ghana, wherever they were from, all of a sudden, just automatically, they went from yelling Farrakhan to boom, and put a diamond around all of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the God, man.
Yes, sir.
And then there's a little Arab with white hair. He knew what was going on, and he let us out. Now, here's the great part. Those that tore that petition down, yelling Farrakhan, they were mostly, if not all, young teenagers. It was the youth who didn't care about a petition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, Jesus took the babes
all
over the planet.
Wow. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Okay, but Susan, I have a quick question. When you were dealing with that and they're hitting you on your back, what is going through your mind as, you know, an executive protection, you know, specialist, and they're hitting you and you know who's in front of you?
Getting the hell out of there. like Brother Mustafa said, we got to get the hell out of there. You know, but the beauty of it is, you know, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that some of us to be hurt, not because they're trying to harm him, they're just trying to touch the hem of his garment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I can't think of a better beating than you can get if you got to take a beating, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, take a beating. What better beating can you take when they're trying to touch the messenger of God? Because they have been made to see who he is. And now they are your age and older.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they still know Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah.
All over the planet.
Perfect. Okay, but
they wanted to kill Jesus, but they feared the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We may not know here because we may not give the proper honor. But the enemy knows they're not just afraid of the youth here, the people here. He is loved and respected throughout this world.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, excellent.
By the friends that Master Fard Muhammad made for him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Okay, a lot of people saying beautiful. Thank you, and thank you for your comments. But Sultan, I just have a quick 60-second commercial break for my podcast sponsors, and I'm coming right back to your questions because we just have a few more, and I want to thank you again for your patience, sir. My brother Rashad and brother Jamal, video production street premiere. They have a 4K camera and a drone that they are shooting video production, films, televisions. Please reach out to Street Premiere for if you need video production work. My sister Miriam and her coloring book, ABC I Love Me, children's book. It is on Amazon. Thank you very much, Sister Miriam, for your sponsorship, continued sponsorship. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually through women all across the country and young girls all across the country. Thank you very much. Supreme Men's Clothing, St. Louis, Missouri, 10835 West Florissant Avenue, 314-528-5555. If you need some fresh clothes, the brother's going to keep you good, dripping, reach out to our brother in Supreme Men's Clothing. BMW Entertainment, brother Ronald out in Phoenix, Arizona. They do event planning all across the country. If you need an event plan, please reach out to brother Ronald. Brother Kenneth, Bowtie Maker Extraordinaire, 917-337-1380. He'll ship bow ties to you all across the country. Supreme Team Insurance, Todd X. McGraw, 803-521-2787. Baby Bean Pies out in Oakland, California. Brother Carlton and Sister Zakiya Muhammad. Thank you very much. I'm coming right back to you, Brother Sultan. Sister Shelly Hassan, Exodus, A New Way of Life, creditrestoration.com. Brother Chantel X, Supreme Express, the X Factor in transportation and logistics. They do freight work. Sister Serena Woodford in Fort Lauderdale, designsofcomposure.com, hollytexture.com. That's homemade hair and skin products. I'm coming right back to you, sir. Brother Maurice D. Muhammad, 24 karat gold by the gram or by the tenths. The real agency online, /Asiatic Cents. That's getting gold. I'm coming home. Sister Tia Vinos Muhammad, Raising Black Millionaires, flashcards for economic empowerment and development for each day of the year. Thank you very much, Sister Tia. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. Thank you very much, Dad. Last but not least, my two books, No Father, No Excuses on Amazon, and Cleopatra, my children's book with the K, is on Amazon. If you would like to support the People's Podcast, it's Cash App, the $, the People's Podcast. Thank you for your support. Right back to you, Brother Sultan. Brother Sultan.
Man, no, brother. Do you know how wonderful it is to hear that?
Oh, praise be to Allah.
No, brother. And it's just getting longer and longer. I'm going to add to it, too.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Thank you,
and
brother.
After a while, brother, you're going to have to run credits, brother.
Yes, sir. Brother Sultan.
All praise is due to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Brother Sultan, with your book, out with my father, speaking of my father's book, will you ever write a book? I don't want you to answer yet, just right now. I got to say something before that. Everybody who's walked with Prophet Muhammad, everybody who's walked with Jesus of 2,000 years ago, we hear the Gospels, and the Hadiths. Will you, Brother Sultan, please bless us with the book so that we can hear your personal journey individually and your journey of walking with the man in our midst, the man of God in our midst?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I have been beat on, and yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I started recording. I did start recording. And we have to bear witness. We have to bear witness. We have to bear witness. We have to bear witness.
Yes, sir.
Man, can you believe, brother, that we are walking in this time?
Yes, sir.
Do we? Oh, man.
Allah.
So, yes, sir. I'll follow, sir.
Yes, sir. Brother Sultan, may I please? I know everybody's gonna be trying to get you first, but I'm asking, putting you on the spot. Can I get the exclusive when you have the book? Can you please come back to the People's Podcast so we can promote your book and hear breakdown of it so we can help promote it?
Well, if it's possible, brother, to be able to have any kind of talk time, yes, because by that time, brother, the credits will be so long.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Okay, Brother Sultan, my next question for you is, speaking of the minister being a real Muslim, and you cleared that up, thank you very much for the people who may be watching who don't know. A lot of hate.
Oh, may I, let me add something else to that.
Yes, sir.
While they were saying we were not the real Muslims.
Yes, sir.
As the minister was saying, when he was pointing out, warning the mother town, Mecca,
Yes, sir.
the mother town and its leadership, who's there? Tyrants. The abomination that leads to the desolation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, where hatred is in the place where love should be guiding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the leadership, the tyrants being kicked out. But while the mother town of that tyrannical mindset,
Yes, sir.
which attacked Muslims, another Muslim country, at the behest of infidels.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, while those who were speaking of us and what we were, on 4 different occasions, starting in 1995 with the Million Man March.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then in 2000 with the Million Family March.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Then
sir.
in 2005 with the Millions More movement. And then 2015, Justice or Else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
4 times, this little humble group of Muslims call the dawn from the seat of the government they fear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now you tell me who the real Muslims are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Allahu Akbar.
That's
Yes,
why
sir.
they're turning to look at us. And we should hold our heads up. And
Yes,
we
sir.
have to work to be the best that we can be because they are watching these Muslims in the heart of this beast, fearless by Allah's permission.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Beautiful. And speaking of the fearlessness of the Muslims here in the wilderness of North America, Brother Sultan, there's a lot of hate being spewed on social media towards the minister after the 4th of July speech. The basketball player Steven Jackson, posting it, a lot of celebrities posting it, and here come the same rhetoric of the minister being anti-Semitic. How do you answer that age-old lie of anti-Semitism? How do you answer that, sir? And how should we answer that if people bring that to us?
Well, the first thing that we need to do is to either get a dictionary, encyclopedia, or something and understand the language.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But in order for us to be anti-Semitic, we'd have to be against ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But slave master taught us that if I say it, it's the law. If I say it, you listen. So those of us who still have the mind of a slave, when the slave master says he's anti-Semitic, we don't go and investigate. We don't go find out what that is. We just respond to the master.
Yes, sir.
Keep on responding to the master, and we'll get what the master's going to get.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
90 years. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Master Farrakhan Muhammad, let me get it straight. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan have spoken millions of words. And all you can say is anti-Semitic. He hates white people. That's all you got when you have the evidence of the millions of words that he said, that if you can prove one word to be untrue, he would give his life. And then the minister comes and says, and I'm his student, I'll give my life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's all you got? After 90 years? Why didn't you tell them that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that the earth weighs 6 sextillion tons, a unit followed by 21 ciphers?
Yes,
Why
sir.
didn't
Yes,
you
sir.
tell them that the sun was 93 million miles from the earth, that there are 196,940,000 square miles of this earth,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
57,255,000 square miles of land. Why didn't you tell them about that? 14 million square miles of hills and mountains.
Yes, sir.
Why
Yes,
don't
sir.
you tell them about that? Why don't you tell them you said it's 1,910,000 square miles of islands?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell them about the cracking of atoms and how Mr. Einstein and the boys got the idea? That's me saying that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
from
sir.
the man who had been saying it about the cracking of atoms. And then they did what? They cracked an atom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How has the science of the United States of America shot ahead of the other European countries since 1930, when Master Fard Muhammad appeared and with what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Every science, and he only had a third grade education. When are you and we? I'm talking about Negroes now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can't deal with what that man taught with only a third grade education. He couldn't have got it from these institutions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In our research, we find they spent millions trying to find Master Fard Muhammad and trying to find where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad got what he was taught.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why don't you, if you want to dismiss us right away, why don't you come out and say, well, hey, the earth doesn't weigh that. Why don't you do that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
you got to show me how you figured what it does weigh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What math did you use?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
can't
sir.
even think in terms of the kind of math out of which creation comes, because that was never given to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you don't come out of the nature of the creator. So you can't even think that way.
Allahu Akbar.
Well, yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful, Brother Sultan. And everybody saying facts and keep teaching hard, Brother Sultan. Teach, teach, teach. Brother Sultan, speaking of high-level supreme wisdom in mathematics, the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in the Criterion speech that he was going to call for baby planes. You have been with the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for decades. When you hear him speak like this and see him say he's going to call for the will and baby planes and things of this nature, and nobody calls him a liar, what does that do to your faith, sir?
Well, I know that if he calls for it, it's going to come.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir.
For example, that's why the first thing I wanted to tell you was that today, in just 24 hours, 15,299 cases in little bitty Florida.
Yes,
After he said he called for the hit on Florida.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
now
sir.
today, 15,299 cases in one day in little bitty Florida.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Keep looking in the sky, because we did ride around that night on the farm, in
Yes,
the
sir.
garden, and we did see a couple of planes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But when the God is ready to demonstrate, if he's called for it, believe it's coming.
Allahu Akbar.
I know it's coming. That's why I talk smack
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
about whatever he says,
Praise be to Allah.
because you're going to see it.
Beautiful. Excellent. And thank you, Brother Sultan, very much. And thank you all for continuing to watch. I have one more question for you, Brother Sultan. Since I saw the wedding photos and I was so pleased to see you married and smiling and happy, what advice would you give to future husbands, sir?
The minister said, settle down to a good choice. That's big. You got to ask for God's help,
Yes,
in
sir.
it. I would like to be among the best husband, best brother, best father, best son, best uncle. I would like to be that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a long way to go. We cannot do this without each other.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We need the help. I needed the help.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I prayed to Allah that He will help me to be the best that I can be as a husband, as a father, all of this. I have a long way to go, but I want to be it. And with Allah's help, I'm going to strive to be it.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
But we have to, at some point, really realize that this woman belongs to God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are allowed to husband. That's it.
Yes, sir.
But that's enough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's enough. And if we can learn to husband them and respect them and respect our own life, which physically comes through them,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
we will better prepare our own future. We cannot have a future without mother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Our children need a woman rooted in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's how you make a God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Male and female alike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to
If you
Allah.
don't have children, I don't know that I'm too old now. I mean, you know, but there are so many children for us to mother and father.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We won't run out at all.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Well, I want to thank you, Brother Sultan, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience, for your sacrifice, your great testimony and inspiration on this Sunday. We needed this. I want to let you know that we love you, we love your family, and we support you, and we thank you for walking with the man of God in this hour. We respect that so much, for putting your life on the line. I mean, it's an honor, brother. We respect you, Brother Sultan, very much, sir. And
We
please continue.
all have to respect each other.
Yes, sir.
And the call of God to each of us, because it takes us all to make a nation.
Praise.
Everybody can't do the same thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's got nothing to do with how close you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Earth is 93 million miles from the sun. Pluto, 4.6 billion miles from the sun. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the sun strikes both Earth and Pluto at its equator, and both rotate at 1,037 and 1/3 miles per hour.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So maybe Pluto don't need the light that the Earth needs.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Maybe
sir.
you don't need the light that I need, but when the light does strike your equator, we revolve around the sun of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah.
And the great star coming out of the sun, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Well, thank you, Brother Sultan. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to put this on YouTube. We're going to share it on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. Let's please continue to stay on code all 2020, support each other. I love you, Brother Sultan, again.
Love you, sir.
May Allah continue to bless you. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.